Hi guys, this is Chris for Drums Bonedo. Today it's going to be all about the new Pearl Midtown compact set. Have fun! I had the last version of the Pearl Midtown for testing in 2021. I'll give you the link to the video below in the description. The most obvious update is the 4-piece hardware set that comes with the new Midtown. The original version has been sold just as a shell set. The price increase seems very reasonable too, at least at first glance. Whereas the shell set at that time was priced at 469 euros, it now costs 615, including the hardware set. That doesn't seem to be that much more when you consider how much more material is now included. And it makes the Midtown particularly interesting for people who don't own any other hardware or who don't want to set up and take down their stands all the time. With a few cymbals and a drum stool, the new Midtown could also be used as the children's set. Let's take a look at the drums first. The shells of the new set are slightly thinner, consisting of 7.mm thick poplar shells. The shell sizes are the same. We have a 16x14 bass drum, 10x7 tom, a 13x12 floor tom and a 13x5.5 snare. The shells are, to say it politely, manufactured okay and are similar to inexpensive starter kits. I found small holes in the bearing edges in some places, and the shells, like the complete set, also appear to have been manufactured in a fairly short amount of time. The matte black wrap is very thin and looks quite fragile to scratches and small dents. The bass drum still has a familiar riser, which is adjustable in height. Together with the telescopic legs, the angle of the bass drum can be positioned without much effort. Another new feature is a cymbal holder that is attached to a clamp on the shell, in the right cymbal position for right-handers. It can't be adjusted particularly high, but I had no problems attaching my 21-inch crash ride to it. The new mount for the 10-inch tom is much simpler. Whereas the original Midtown used to have an Opti-Lock 3-point mount, the tom holder is now inserted into the drum as we know it from beginner sets. The new version of the fittings, especially the new lugs and the claws on the bass drum, also look much more fragile and less trustworthy. Here's a photo for comparison with the old set. The same applies to the drum head, especially the foil of the bass drum head is noticeably soft. Normally the kick drum head is quite robust, even on inexpensive kits. So I don't know what Pearl was thinking here. While the old version of the Midtown was based more on the features of the Pearl Export, the new Midtown is similar to the entry-level Pearl Roadshow set. Let's take a look at the hardware. The kit comes with a set of fairly light single brace stands. This includes a hi-hat machine with fixed spring tension and a simple bass drum pedal without a bass plate, which is equipped with a felt beater. Also included is a boom cymbal stand and a snare stand. Together with the cymbal holder on the bass drum you have a complete hardware set for hi-hat and 2 cymbals. So the hardware is quite light overall and fits the mobile concept of the set very well. But if you are familiar with other lightweight hardware such as the Tama Classic stands or the Yamaha Crosstown hardware, you will notice that these stands, like the set, belong to the entry-level class. So enough talk, let's get to the sound files. I will start in the medium tuning with the factory heads. So for the second sound files, I changed all the drum heads. Yes, even on the bass drum. A Remo Ambassador coated is on the snare and the small tom, an Emperor coated on the floor tom, and I used one of my Pinstripe Clear as a better head for the bass drum. For the last sound file, I tried a kind of jazzy tuning, so I tuned all the drum heads much higher, and I also used my trusty backbeat leather beater for a warm and round sound. Okay, here are my thoughts on the sound and my conclusion. As you could hear, you can definitely get a usable sound out of the kit if you are willing to invest in a set of branded heads. Out of all 4 drums, I found the snare drum significantly weaker. The snare wires are quite rattly, and overall the drum only sounds best when tuned very high. The snare drum also reduces the general appeal of the set, at least to my mind, as it is simply the most important voice in the instrument. The bass drum and the toms sound suitable and are also well matched in terms of sound. I also had no issues tuning them. I also like the design that almost all components are attached to the bass drum. The single-braced hardware set is pleasingly light, and I also got used to the foot pedal and the hide machine without any problems. However, the snare stand in particular is too wobbly for me. If you keep the set in a practice room, you can certainly play on it for some time, and it's also a good alternative as a children's set. But for live gigs that come with a frequent assembly and dismantling, as is intended for such small compact sets, I don't find the shell hardware and the stands to be trustworthy enough. What remains in the end is the impression that Pearl has added some components, but mostly scaled down many features of a formerly cool product with this new version. What are your opinions on this? Let me know it in the comments. So that's it for today. If you liked the video, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment. And if you are interested in the Pearl Midtown, you can scan this code with your smartphone, or you can check out the link in the video description below. I hope to see you next time. Until then, bye!